The gentlemen who are on stage here represent resources or assets rather that help to contribute the types of engine, or if you will, to help spur economic activity that will either support or perhaps drive it, particularly in supporting different types of industries. And I'm going to begin by asking each of you to share with us, here, in about 3 minutes, tell us essentially what you represent, what your thoughts are about this buildup, how you're taking advantage of these opportunities, beginning with Mr. Mike 80.
Buenos and half a day, folks. Greetings. My business is a very small business. We're only about 15 people, and we started out of my daughter's bedroom 15 years ago with absolutely no money, and we still don't have any. But we're a little bit bigger, and we've grown a little bit. But I'm very thankful to have been able to afford this opportunity, and part of my roles have been as a business owner and also as a board member for the Chamber of Commerce, also the chairman of the advisory committee for the Small Business Development Center. In the last 5 years ago, I guess we finally got the buzzword that actually the military buildup was going to happen, and we started talking to people about doing things that they should do to try to get involved with the military business. Well, my company, what we try to do is make sure all of our ducks are in a row, get involved with the military to try to find out what they're actually looking for in a business. And basically what it comes down to is a company that's bondable, number one. Number two, that has financing in place. Number three, that has a safety plan in place. And number four, that has gainfully employed and been able to keep local businesses and local people working. This is what we try to strive for, is to keep the business in the local economy. In the local economy. This is what I'm trying to get at, is we welcome open arms for all these people that are coming into Guam, and we don't have a problem with people coming here, but what we're asking them to do is to look for local partners to partner with to keep the money in the local economy. What we don't want to see is an inset of local businesses coming in here, landing here, doing big jobs, and then adios. That's not what we're looking for. But sustainability is what we want to have, companies we want to have. We tried to tell businesses years ago, get everything in a row, get your act together, get your ducks in a row, get your CCR registration done, get your DUNS number done, get everything registered as much as you can. To this day, I think we've been minorly successful, but not majorly successful. I just don't see it. I don't see the people really understanding that if you want to do business with the federal government, you have to get your act together. They're not going to come to you and say, oh, here's a purchase order. We don't know who you are. We don't know what you do, but we like you because you're local. It isn't going to happen. When I started talking about this, I said we won an opportunity to play in the lottery. We didn't win the lottery. We didn't get anything for free. What we did get is an opportunity to be successful business people. And the only way you become a successful business person is get your ducks in a row. Please, I cannot speak to you any more about that. But our success, and I know that's what I'm supposed to speak about, but I'm more for the island, not just M80. What I'm looking for is how to get the rest of our small business to understand that there is business out there. You can be a part of it. But being lackadaisical and complacent about it and saying, oh, well, I live on Guam, I'm a business on Guam, they have to give the business to me. No, they don't. They don't. But if you're qualified and you can get your act together, they will. They will give you the business, and you can grow with this plan and you can be a part of it. But just please, please, get out and get your ducks in a row. See the CCR, see these folks. We have PTAC here, we have SBDC, and all these are acronyms to you folks. But what these are agencies set up to help you get your businesses going. PTAC is a phenomenal one. We're one of the lucky ones to just have gotten a PTAC office here, and Vera has done a phenomenal job with it. There's the resources out there for you folks to do the job. Is my 3 minutes up?
I think so. Thanks.
Sorry.
Now, Mike is the only representative from the private sector, not from government. So I now address this to Mr. Jerry Perez. Tell us what is going on with the Guam Visitors Bureau with regard to preparing for this build-up, or despite the build-up, what are some of the new market opportunities and programs that we can look forward to as a local community?
Well, you know, Anita, much discussion has been taking place in recent years on the military buildup. And I think rightly so, because of the anticipated socioeconomic impact and the magnitude to the community. But I think the one thing we need to remind ourselves of is that there is a very important economic sector here that ought not to be left behind in the midst of all these discussions. The tourism industry is a very important part of our economy, and it comprises about 35 to 40% of our gross island product. That's huge. If it weren't for the tourism industry, each household today would have to pay an extra $2,700 in taxes just to be revenue neutral to the government. Each visitor to Guam represents $120 in tax receipts. And so the importance of the tourism industry really can't be underestimated as we discuss the buildup in the military. That said, I don't want to discredit the military buildup nor detract from it, because the two can be mutually compatible. They don't have to be mutually exclusive. But it's important that the strength of our tourism and visitor industry relies heavily on the historical, cultural, and natural environment of the island. And it's important that as we develop militarily, that we don't compromise irreversibly those very natural assets that is our destination appeal. And we've been very active this last year trying to define Guam's brand image as a destination worth visiting for its intrinsic value. If we don't do that, if we don't actively define it ourselves, it will be defined for us by virtue of the publicity that goes along with the military. What we like to see happen is Guam is a great resort destination, and by the way, there are military bases there, not the other way around. So we've been very aggressive this last year trying to redefine our brand image and articulate the cultural and historical assets that define Guam as a uniquely different resort destination from any place.
Thank you very much, Jerry. Now we'll turn it over to Mr. Carlos Salas, who will speak to us about some of the exciting things going on with the airport authority with regard to new industries that are created as a result of all of these different major plans underway. So,
sure. Thank you. And basically, with the military build-up, we took that as and looked at it as opportunities and incorporated into our vision. Incorporate into our plans and goals for the future. And what that resulted into is actually gave us a different target, a bigger target for that matter. And it came down to like a forecast of about 1.9 million passengers more by 2013, 2014. And so our vision is to continue to make sure that Guam continues to be the premier hub of the region. Also promote air cargo as a new line of business. And so we gel all that together. And as you can see, when you pass by the airport, we have expanded our airfield areas. We have land development for air cargo facilities and so forth. We also have continued to actively go out and look at different airlines for the markets that we have. Also continue to work with airlines that do air cargo business. Our goal is to diversify the activities at the airport. The more passengers, the more cargo we bring in, we bring the cost down for our people. And at the end of the day, it's how much do we charge the airlines to operate the airport? So the numbers get bigger, the cost gets lower. I'm sure that's not a surprise to a lot of businesses, but it certainly works for the airport, and it promotes aviation. It connects us to the world, and the world connects to us, makes it very affordable to fly anywhere, anywhere in the world. Makes it easier for us to send people off for medical purposes, send our kids to school, helps us go on a vacation at a cheaper rate, and that's really kind of the goal of the airport. And there's a lot of very important people behind this vision, though, and I see our former chairman, Mr. Frank Bloss, who's really very instrumental in this vision. The airport has embarked during his term, and the governor, an aggressive $500 million capital improvement project